Hi, I'm David Seewack. I'm the CEO and founder of FinditParts.com.
We are in New Orleans at the Technology and Maintenance Council. The trucking industry is here. This is a big fleet show, and I'm really glad to have the opportunity to come and see you. David, welcome back to the Heavy Duty Parts Report.
Thanks for having me. It's really great.
So when we're here, we're talking to people who are operating fleets. We're talking to other suppliers. There's really a representation of the entire industry here at this show. What does the trucking industry mean to you in FinditParts?
So to me, I really think it's more than just selling parts, right? We're selling a solution. So we're doing business with the people that are making this world move. So when you think about it, anyone repairing a vehicle, working on a truck, that truck is doing something. It's delivering parts, it's doing services. There's a multitude of things that truck is doing. So what we want to do is we want to help the customers get their trucks back on the road. That's our main focus. It's ease and getting the parts they need as quickly as they can.
In your years in the industry selling parts, like me, you've had an opportunity to interact with the men and women who operate the equipment, the people who fix it. Tell me a little bit from your perspective, what does it mean to be a heavy-duty person?
Well, it means a lot of different things. I think if you're referring to the driver, they're really like the backbone of this world. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, everything that we have, this pen, everything you look around has been brought to you on a truck. So it is like the backbone. The people that make the trucks work or drive the vehicles are really what makes this whole world work. And I remember during COVID, when there weren't as many drivers out, things came to a stop. Yeah. And it's really the truckers of this world and the mechanics that support those vehicles is really what keeps everything running in this business. Our world would stop if it wasn't for trucks and the people who repair them.
So I really admired the innovative way that you've approached the industry. You are someone who had a brick and mortar parts business in the past. So you did it the traditional way for a very long time, David. And then late in your career, you decide to do something innovative and really be a leader in the space. Tell me a little bit about when you were making that transition, what was the drivers and the feelings you were having of why you felt you had to be the person to go do this?
I think it started that we had brick and mortar stores with people behind the counters, and it was hard finding parts. Right. If a customer came in to look for a part from us and we didn't have it in stock, we would have to try to find it, just like every other distributor or dealer in the country. Mm-hmm. So if they get a call for a part, and it might be for this part, and they don't have it in stock, they're gonna have to get on the phone and call a bunch of people. And we really felt that was an inefficient process. So we wanted to make it really easy for the consumer, whoever that consumer happens to be, if they can't find that part from their local supplier, we want them to go online and they'll find us at FinditParts. Yeah. So we make it super easy. You Google the part, or hopefully come directly to FinditParts, you find the part you're looking for, you place the order, and it gets direct shipped to the customer. So that's serving all these truckers that we're talking about and keeping them on the road. And that's really what keeps the industry going.
One of the things that was the most heartwarming, I would say, experience I had selling parts was there was a transmission issue and we were able to take care of it for the customer. And the customer's wife phoned me on my cell. And she, you could tell with a tear in her eye, said, "Thank you so much for helping us out. We didn't know what we were going to do next week for food because my husband needed to go to work and now he could." And what I think about when we're running a company where we're selling parts, we're part of that part of the business, sometimes we can lose sight of who ultimately we're serving and how it has an impact on them. So tell me a little bit of like some of the experiences you've seen with your customers. They're using FinditParts, they're finding the parts they need. How has that translated into impacting their lives?
So a few things. So with big companies, we have products that they may not be able to get. So there are trucks that are parked that they can't build or finish those trucks without the parts that we supply.
Okay.
But if you talk about like an owner operator, like I understand it personally because that's their life. Their truck or a couple trucks is really it's whether or not they put food on the table for their children. So when we have a person that's looking for a part and they need it, we know that they're in a hotel room. Yeah. And we know we take it personal. And we need to make sure that part gets to them. Because if that part doesn't get to them, they're spending another night at the hotel, and then that's downtime. And downtime is so costly for everyone in this space.
Lost income, time away from family, the works. So one of the things that I remember when I was a person selling parts at the distribution level is I had customers, especially like repair shops, and they would say to me, we don't stock a lot of inventory, or even at the fleet level. They say, we only stock like the filters and stuff that we know. We use your warehouse as almost like a satellite warehouse for our operation. Now, you've taken that to a whole other level. Tell me about the Infinite Warehouse.
I love that idea. I mean, that name, Infinite Warehouse, really describes what we are. So we don't have the requirements to have a physical building that's 100,000 square feet. Let's say I did. Even in 100,000 square feet, we have 4 million parts.
Right.
So there's no way in the world anyone can stock that much inventory. So by our interconnectivity with our supply chain, we have virtually every part you can imagine, from a fast-moving part that someone would want any day to the hardest to find part. Because I remember my dad worked on a Model A Ford. Finding a part was like impossible. But if you call enough places, you'll find it. So we interconnect with so many hundreds of suppliers that have inventory no one else has. So that is where we coined the name Infinite Warehouse. There's no limitation to what we can have available.
Yeah, and that has a direct impact on the people who use FinditParts and their ability to execute the orders and take care of those customers, those men and women who are really the backbone of society. And to me, I know personally it gives me a great sense of pride that I can play a small part in that, and I know you feel the same way.
Oh my God, I read our reviews and sometimes it touches me because it might be the wife of a trucker that says, oh my God, I've been looking for this part for my husband and he's so mad at me and we found it on your website.
Right.
So it was like those instances that when you really realize on the human side, you know, you think of a part for a truck like not a big deal, but when you know that it's connected to Joe and Sue and that's their business, that's what really gives us a lot of pride to be able to take care of them.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin. I've been with CEO and founder David Seewack of FinditParts. David, welcome back to the show. So glad to be here in person at this trade show. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you all.